Urgent questions are being asked this morning over how much our Defence Force knew about Chinese warships conducting live fire drills just a few hundred kilometres off our coast. After it was revealed authorities were first made aware of the weapons drills by a commercial Virgin Airlines pilot. And that warning came through 30 minutes after those drills began. Australia has lodged a diplomatic protest over the exercise, complaining at the lack of advance notice. For more, we're joined live by former Qantas pilot Richard de Crespigny, live in Coffs Harbour. Good morning to you. Tell us how dangerous this is.
Oh, it's potentially very dangerous. The military obviously practice warfare routines they can practice it in open international waters. There's nothing wrong with that. But what is normal is that the military, as always, all the countries around the world have notified the aviation authorities that the firing's taking place, so we miss it. So it's not that the firing took place. The issue is, what notice did China give to Australia, maybe to the military? It appears that they provided no information to the air services for them to pass it on to the pilots. So the pilots in at least two aircraft found themselves in the middle of a firing range of unknown dimensions in height or width. And this is not what passengers are used to when they get onto an aircraft. It's perhaps symbolism and messaging from the Chinese. Perhaps it's just a mistake. But I think we need to find out what happened here so that it doesn't happen again. We cannot have aircraft inadvertently flying into military firing areas.
Yeah, it's interesting because our Prime Minister says Australian Defence was aware, but we are now learning that a Virgin pilot raised the alarm. What are you hearing?
Well, if the military was aware, they didn't pass it on to air services that manages the navigation of aircraft around the Australian airspace. So maybe there's a failure in Australian communications. Maybe the Chinese didn't give the notice at all. I think we need to find out, because aviation cannot continue if we are unsure if we're flying into an active firing weapons range. Again, the Chinese were full liberty to have their ships in international waters. There's nothing wrong with that. But undertaking military firing activities without warning commercial aircraft today is totally unacceptable.
Yeah, so if I'm getting on a plane, how worried should I be that someone's down there shooting up the ocean?
Well, aviation relies on trust. You get on an aircraft trusting that everything's in place with the pilots, the aircraft, the maintenance, and also that there's no political posturing by either groups. You must navigate into known areas, particularly when it comes to military operations. And if you don't know what's going on, you lose the trust, and that's when things go south very quickly. So we must have an investigation to find out what the military knew. Did they pass it on? Or maybe the Chinese didn't give it. But this sort of behaviour, although it's normal in military posturing, is unacceptable for civilian aviation.
Richard de Crespigny, thank you very much for your time today. Here's Chavo.